What's the best way to learn a foreign language? We can substitute with any language like English, Spanish, French. I get this question a lot. Almost at every meeting that I'm speaking to different people. Sometimes be speaking Japanese, sometimes be speaking Mandarin, and sometimes be speaking English. And whenever they see that, they'll be like, "Whoa, how did you learn that? And how did you learn it? Seriously, like how did you learn it?" And I will be stunned because that's a really broad question. So we're gonna do some exercise to find out what's the best way to learn language for you. And there are actually 3 elements. The first element is, why are you learning the language? What do you want to accomplish? Learning a language is actually broader than just learning the language itself. It's what you want to do with it. Because remember, it may take anyone, let's say the fastest 1 or 2 years to really master a language like really well. And it may take someone 3 to 5 years, and sometimes it might be 10 years and still trying to find your way. It's a long process, and it's a process that takes a lot of energy. How do you sustain that process? Because when you start to learn a language, you get caught with the grammar, the word vocabularies in different categories, and how to use them. And then you will be thinking about, oh my God, I have to practice speaking. God, I just can't speak. Like, when I see his face, I just can't get the words out. Or you'll be sometimes get caught with listening. You'll be like, yeah, what did you say? I get that a lot when I started out with English. I try to pretend I understood because I feel like embarrassed if I say, I do not understand a word. And sometimes after these 2 stages, when you're very confident you're speaking and listening, then you'll be caught with, oh my gosh, the writing is so hard, it's completely different structure. That's usually is the cycle for any language learner. What got you through, what got anyone through that process is where they want to go and what exactly they want to master. If you understand what you want to master, what your end goal is, it's way easier. You don't have to put that much stress on you sometimes. If your goal is just to travel, really, writing is not something you want to spend 60 or 70% of the time on. Instead, you may want to spend more time on speaking or listening. But if your goal is to, I'm gonna publish a book in a different language, I'm gonna do this, I've been a great author, I'm gonna do this and that, then you might take more consideration on writing. And if you know what you want to do with the language, in fact, if you do have a notebook, please take it out. Why do you want to learn the language? Why is it achieving it that will satisfy you? What will you get out of it? See that you are already using the language, doing whatever you are doing. In fact, if you're an advanced learner, the outcome should be that I'm able to learn anything through the language. I can learn a different language through English, or I can learn like Spanish through French, stuff like that. Or I can even take a course, or I can even find a job, or I can do anything with that language. That's advanced level. What can you do by using a language? And what does that give to you? Satisfaction, happiness, more opportunity, peace, more excitement, adventure, whatever that is, please write it down because that will be your emotion motivator. If you do not know, you may want to look within. Why did I even start it? So, and then the second layer of this question is the best way. The best way is your way. Have you ever observed what are the ways you're learning the language with? Are you mostly reading? Are you mostly listening to audios? Are you taking classes? Are you trying to talk to people? Have you identified how many senses you are using? Are you mostly using your mouth, your ear, your eyes, or your touch, your action, your experience, everything to learn the language, the more five senses that you incorporate, even sometimes sixth sense, you're like, I know what he's thinking just by looking at him. That sometimes work. Just joking. If you use more five senses, the more you will find what works for you. I'm an auditory and visual learner. What really works well for me is whenever I see an object, I name it. Whenever I hear something, I try to describe what it is and how I feel. That's how I was able to really speak to myself and try to identify everything in my surroundings to speed up my Japanese and English at the same time. What has been the way that you've been learning the language with that been giving you results, giving you joy, and you find it so easy and you can do it every day? What are the other ways you have not tried yet? What are the other senses you have not tried? Please take a notebook out again and write that down and analyze what you've done in the past, what you have not tried. How can you try it out? What type of emotion will give it to you? Is it in alignment with where you want to go? And the third layer to this question is, where are you now? If you're an absolute beginner, memorizing the vocabulary and grammar is good enough. And that usually starts with reading books, listening, repeating, speaking over and over to really memorize the sound. Physically even remember what the vibration sounds like from your mouth or from other people's mouths. Really understand the sound, understand how to write it, understand what it means. It takes memorizations. Whatever works for you to memorize the elements will be the way. When you're in intermediate, I understand that for intermediate learners, you are already advanced in a sense that you learned all the vocabularies, all the grammars. You just need to use them more, to become more fluent. So you are actually in the process of becoming fluent. The way to become fluent is use it more. So the best way for you is how you can incorporate into your life, your everyday life, so you can get more exposure to it. And it's better that you don't have to force yourself to get into it. They can do it automatically. For example, there's a word I say in Japanese all the time. Oh, it's so mendokusai. It's so troublesome, I don't want to do it. And I incorporate it in my daily life. And whenever I say this to my friends, they're like, what's mendokusai? Then I explain to them. And for some reason, it just caught on. And everyone started to say mendokusai. So something like that, you can even create a culture around it. You need to use it every day. What is the best way for you to use it every day? For advanced learner, I understand that you are a pro. You already mastered it. What the next step is, what's the outcome you want from all the input you have? Do you want to go travel? Do you want to go work there? Do you want to go make friends? Do you want to make the best cookies? Whatever it is, utilize it. How can you use it in your life? And to learn more knowledge, to have more wise experience. And that's the best way you can learn, through a foreign language. Thank you so much for watching the video. We'll see each other again. Bye.